Hi, everybody. Okay, we're going to read a story today called Animal Skeletons. And we're going to read this story so that we can compare some of the skeletons to other skeletons and contrast some of the skeletons to other skeletons. We're going to pay special attention to the horse skeleton and the frog skeleton. So, first, we're going to read our story. So, just sit back, watch, follow along, and listen. Animal Skeletons. Animal Skeletons, written by Kira Freed, illustrated by Cindy Hall. The bones in your body make up your skeleton. You have 206 bones. Bones give your body shape and support. They keep the soft parts inside you safe. Bones come in many shapes and sizes. Your arms and legs are long bones. Your pelvis and shoulder blades are flat bones. The bones in your wrists, hands, ankles, and feet are small. This is what your skeleton looks like. Look at the many types of bones in your body. Other animals have skeletons too. Each animal's skeleton is different. Some are short, some are tall, some are light, and some are strong. Alligator, elephant. Look at this skeleton. How is it different from your skeleton? Do you know what it is? Clue. This animal flies. Can you tell what it is? Can you tell what's different about this animal than from us? There's a lot. I see a beak. I see what look like long arms out to the side, but since it flies, it's probably wings. It's an eagle. Its bones are hollow and light, wing feathers attached to the wing bones. Look at this skeleton. How is it different from your skeleton? Do you know what it is? Clue. This animal hops. It's a frog. It has long back legs for hopping. Its back legs are longer than its body. Yeah? Its legs are longer than its body. Look at this skeleton. How is it different from your skeleton? Do you know what it is? Clue. This animal swims. It's a blue whale. It has no leg bones. Its arms are flippers. Whales are supported by the water. If a whale lived on land, its skeleton would have to be much stronger. Look at this skeleton. How is it different from your skeleton? Do you know what it is? Clue. This animal runs well. It's a horse. It has long legs for running. A horse has a large rib cage to keep its large lungs safe. It needs large lungs to take in lots of air when it runs. Look at this skeleton. How is it different from your skeleton? Do you know what it is? Clue. This animal slithers. It's a snake. It has no arms or legs. Its skeleton is one long backbone with ribs. Look at these skulls or head bones. These are the skulls of the animals in this book. Look at how their shapes and parts are different. Each animal's skeleton is perfect for the way it lives. It has the right type of skeleton for the support it needs. It has the right type of skeleton for the way it moves. And so do you. Lion, catfish. All right, now I want to go back to the horse and frog skeletons. So I'm going to flip back. We're going to start with the frog since it came first. And let's look at this skeleton. I notice it has 4 legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, but its back legs are extra, extra long. You see that? Super long back legs. It has what looks like finger bones on its legs and up here, these front legs and the back legs. It looks like it's got little hands, right? Hands and feet. It also has its skeleton, its skull has this big open part right here. It's got a big holes in his skull. That's interesting. Doesn't look like there's much of a neck either. You guys see that? Not much of a neck. And its back, look at its back. It's not straight. His back is curved. Interesting, huh? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to now compare that to a horse skeleton. So let's go to the horse. All right, here's our horse skeleton. I see 4 legs, just like on the frog, but where the frog had finger bones, the horse doesn't. The horse bones have hooves at the bottom. So a horse doesn't have those finger bones. And look at his back legs. They're not any longer than the front legs, and they're certainly not longer than the rest of his body, right? So the frog had super long back legs, whereas the horse has, well, the same size back legs as front legs. They're all pretty much the same size. Also, he's got little holes in his skull. See that? Tiny holes. And I see teeth in the skull. I also see a neck. The frog didn't have one of those. And remember, the frog's back was curved down, whereas the horse's back goes pretty straight across. And look at these lungs, or rib cages. That's where the lungs should go, I mean. But look at the rib cage. Did the frog have a rib cage? Let's go back. No, the frog didn't have any ribs. Interesting. Back to the horse. I also notice the horse has a tailbone, and the frog didn't have that tailbone. So lots of things that are different between this skeleton and the frog skeleton. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to be working on the computer, and you're going to be doing everything I do, but you're going to be doing it on a spiral notebook. So what I want you to do is I want you to get your spiral notebook and a pencil. Pause the video if you have to, and let me show you what we're going to do. On the first page of your spiral notebook, we're going to start a double bubble map. So we're going to create one bubble that says frog. I'm going to make my writing just a bit bigger so you guys can see it. This is where we're going to put the frog skeleton. So you're going to create a bubble. You're going to write frog skeleton and then create a bubble around it. And we're going to compare that to the horse skeleton. So you're going to create another bubble that says horse skeleton inside. So go ahead and pause the video and create your 2 bubbles, frog skeleton and horse skeleton. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, kind of like I did with the Charlie's dad and Pop originally, I used 2 different colors. I'm going to use red for the frog, and for the horse, I'm going to use blue. Now, we have no bubbles created on the side yet. So let's talk about the frog skeleton first. The frog skeleton had 4 legs, but so did the horse skeleton, right? So since it's true for both of them, I'm going to put it in the middle. And here's how I do it. I'm going to create my text box right in the center, and I'm going to write 4 legs. But I'm going to write this in purple because it's true for both of my animals. It's true for the frog and it's true for the horse. Now you don't have to use purple, just use your pencil and write 4 legs between both bubbles. Then we're going to create a circle around it. There we go. And I'm going to use I can use my paintbrush, although I want to change my stroke thickness. 2 is fine. And I'm going to connect that to the frog skeleton and the horse skeleton. It's true for both. So on your paper, use your paper, and everything you see me doing with my typing, you're going to do with your pencil. So you have a frog skeleton bubble and a horse skeleton bubble. And right between them, you have a bubble that says 4 legs, and you're going to connect it to the frog and the horse. All right, let's go back to that frog. Let's see what else we noticed. 4 legs, but finger bones. The horse didn't have those finger bones, did it? So when I write finger bones, I'm going to write it over here because it's only true for the frog. It's not true for the horse. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write it first. I want to change this to red. Finger bones. Then I'm going to draw a circle or a bubble around it like that. And I'm going to draw a line that connects finger bones to the frog, not to the horse, because the horse did not have those. Only the frog did. Pause the video if you have to and catch up. I want to go back to our frog again. So here we go. I also noticed that the frog had really big holes in his skull. Really big holes, but the horse didn't, remember? The horse had small holes in his skull. So it's only true for, see, right there. It's only true for the frog, those big holes in the skull. So again, I'm going to connect it to the frog only. So over here with the frog only, I'm going to write big holes in skull. And I'm not using complete sentences, and that's okay. Double bubbles are where we write our ideas, and I don't have to worry about complete sentences. I'm going to create a bubble around that, and I'm going to draw a line connecting that bubble to the frog only. And so far, we've got nothing connected to the horse other than the fact that it has 4 legs. Now, the horse did have a skull, didn't it? It just didn't have big holes in the skull. So we could say, right down the middle, that both of the animals had a skull, because that's true. Let's put that in the middle. Both of the animals had a skull. Let's put a bubble around it. And let's go ahead and connect this to the frog and the horse, since it's true for our frog and our horse. They both had a skull. Just the frog's skull had really big holes in it. Pause the video if you need to. Finish writing. And I'm going to go back to that frog skeleton. Okay, here's my frog skeleton again. Another thing I noticed was it has no neck. I also noticed that his back is curved. And the back legs were super long. Look at those. Ooh, they're super long. That's a lot to notice. Let's go back. Our frog has no neck. Let's add that over here. Gotta save myself some room. No neck. I want to do that in red. No neck. Got it. Put a bubble around that. And connect it just to my frog. I want to change that to red. That's just me being picky. I don't have to use color. I could do the whole thing in black if I wanted to. Okay. His back is curved. I can fit that down here. I can come down a little bit here. Say curved back. Then we'll put a bubble around it and draw a line just to the frog because the horse's back really wasn't curved. Well, that's a straight line. And then we also noticed he had really, really long back legs. So let's add that. And I think this is pretty much it for the amount I can fit. Really long back legs. I'm going to move that over a little bit. And let's put a bubble around it. Remember, we like to write first and then put a bubble around. That way we always make sure that our writing fits inside the bubble. Now remember, you should have all of this stuff written on your spiral notebook. I know I'm typing it, but you should be writing this down. If you haven't, you should pause the video now and start. Get all of this written down because you're going to need it for sure. Okay, let's say that our frog is pretty much done. Let's move on to our horse skeleton. I'm going to turn to the horse page of my book. And I'm going to take a close look. We already said the horse has 4 legs, but so did the frog, so we put that in the middle. The horse has a skull. We put that in the middle. But one thing that I noticed about the skull was the horse had teeth. The frog didn't. And the horse has little holes for the eye, little eye holes in the skull. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. But since we're talking about the horse now, these things should connect only to the horse. The horse had teeth. The frog did not. So teeth belongs to the horse only. And then we'll put a bubble around that. And then we will connect that only to the horse. He had teeth. Or it had teeth. It also had a small eye hole in the skull. So we can go ahead and put that here. Small eye hole. Because remember, the frog had huge holes in the skull. I wonder what those holes are for. His eyes aren't that big. Put a bubble around it and connect it to our horse. Okay. Pause the video if you need to and finish writing. I'm going to go back to the horse page real quick. I also noticed the horse had huge lungs. I mean, the frog didn't have any. Not lungs, I mean a rib cage, Mrs. Knight. The horse has a huge rib cage. The frog didn't have any at all. And the story had said that the horse needed that rib cage to hold its really big lungs. So we're going to write really big rib cage, and also straight back and a tail. So let's add those things. Rib cage, a big one. I'm going to write big rib cage. Let's bubble that. Let's connect it to our horse. Straight back, pretty straight, not perfectly straight. Straight back. Boys and girls, if I spell it for you here, you should spell it correctly. So look at how straight is spelled. It's got an A-I-G-H-T in it. Straight back. And let's connect that. And it had a tailbone. I think I can put that up here. I can put it anywhere pretty much. I've got room above and room below. I'll go up and I'll write tailbone. And again, bubble. And again, draw a line connecting to only the horse. Okay, so we noticed a lot of things that are different between the frog and the horse, and only a couple things that were true about both of them. I did want to add one more thing here in the middle, and that one more thing is the frog skeleton and the horse skeleton were made of lots of different kinds of bones. They have lots of different kinds of bones. Let's go back and check. Pause here if you need to finish. I'm going back to the book again. See all the different bones? There's a lot of different bones on the horse. And the same is true for the frog. They both have a lot of different bones all joined together. So that's true for both of them. Let's write that down the middle. We'll write that they have lots of different bones. I kind of stack my words so that they'll fit, but if you're a small writer, you could probably fit that in there. And we're making a bubble to go around it. I'll move my bubble over, maybe. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. Okay. Draw a line, and remember, this is true for both of them, so I'm going to connect it to the frog and the horse. It's true for both. Okay, now, lots and lots of interesting information about the frog skeleton and the horse skeleton. Please make sure you have all of this information right here because we're going to need it. And we're going to need it because I need to answer two questions. There's a second page to this worksheet that I'm working on right now. Pause now if you need to finish. And now I'm going to show you the second page here. The second page has two questions that I need to answer. How are the two skeletons alike? How are the two skeletons different? All right. One of the things that I noticed when you guys have been making your sentences is some of you are telling me all the ways that they're alike. And you're saying stuff like, the frog and the horse both have a skull, they have four legs, they have lots of different bones. Stop right there. Boys and girls, when you're going to tell me how two things are alike, just pick one idea off the map. Let's pick one of these. Let's say they both have four legs. We're just going to pick one of these things off the map. I'm not going to try to make a sentence with all three of them. No, no, no. Just choose one. We're going to choose four legs, and we're going to turn this into a sentence. Remember, when you're trying to talk about how two things are similar, you're going to say in one simple sentence, the frog skeleton and the horse skeleton have 4 legs. It's just one sentence, and I'm only choosing one idea off of my map. Each idea could be its own sentence. I'm just making one sentence. Pick one idea. So here we go. We're going to write it like this. I'm going to go with black. Here we go. The frog skeleton and the horse skeleton. And a lot of you might be thinking, oh, this is a compound sentence. I see and. No, it's not. I know you see and. But and here is not gluing two sentences together. The frog skeleton, the horse skeleton, these are not sentences. So I'm just gluing these phrases together. This is not a compound sentence. This is a simple sentence. The frog skeleton and the horse skeleton both have 4 legs, period. That's what you're going to write. Yes, I want you to write it right now. You guys can do it right on the same page as your map if you have room, or you can just do it on the next page of your spiral notebook. But I'm going to have you write this sentence down. The frog skeleton and the horse skeleton both have 4 legs. I used the word and, I used the word both, not because this is a compound sentence, but because I'm talking about the frog skeleton and the horse skeleton. I started with a capital, I ended with a period, and you should too. Because you're going to have to write this down. This is what your assignment's going to look like, by the way. So everything you see me doing, you're going to be doing in an assignment in a few minutes. Okay. If you need to, pause the video and finish writing. All right. Now you guys remember, I only chose one idea. I chose 4 legs. I didn't talk about how the skeletons both have a skull and 4 legs and lots of different bones. I didn't try to shove all of this stuff into one sentence. I just said they both have 4 legs, period. If I wanted to write another sentence, then I could say the frog skeleton and the horse skeleton both have a skull, period. But I don't need to put all 3 ideas into my sentence, just one idea. Now it's time for us to write how the 2 skeletons are different. And this is where we need to write a compound sentence. I need to pick one idea that's true for the frog, one idea that's true for the horse. All right? So I'm going to choose the idea that the frog has big holes in his skull, but the horse skeleton has small eye holes in his skull. That would work. I could say the frog skeleton has finger bones, but the horse skeleton has a tailbone. I could say the frog skeleton has really long back legs, but the horse skeleton has a really big rib cage. I could say the frog skeleton has no neck, but the horse skeleton, oh, I didn't write neck, does. He's got a long neck. I could have written that there and I didn't. So I'm only picking one frog idea and one horse idea and making a compound sentence with those. So I'm going to start with a frog idea. The frog skeleton has finger bones. So I'm going to go ahead and start my text box. And I think I'm in black. Yeah, there we go. The frog skeleton has finger bones. And now I'm going to say, comma, but, and now it's time for my sentence about the horse. The horse skeleton, and remember, I'm only picking one of these, just one. The horse skeleton has teeth. That sounds good. I want to do that. But the horse skeleton has teeth, period. I chose one idea about the frog, one idea about the horse. I said the frog has finger bones, but the horse skeleton has teeth. I didn't try to stick in all of the ideas. I just chose one. So for my two answers, and pause here if you need to finish, because I'm about ready to slide back up to my double bubble. For my two answers, I chose one thing that was the same about them, and I wrote the frog skeleton and the horse skeleton both have 4 legs. I chose one thing. And for the thing that was different, I chose one frog thing, I chose one horse thing, and I glued them together with but. The frog skeleton has finger bones, comma, but the horse skeleton has teeth. So I chose one frog thing, one horse thing, and glued those together with a comma and the word but. Okay, now you guys are going to have an assignment that looks just like this, but it's going to be empty. It's not going to have any of this information on it. You're going to have to put this information on it. So you're going to have to type the information about the frog. Everything that we wrote down just now, guys, all you're going to do is copy it. That's all you're doing. You're just going to copy the information about the frog, the information about the horse, and the information about what they have in common. If you're not really good with the circle maker and making circles is hard for you, that's okay. You can make circles with the paintbrush. And then you can just put the text inside it. Although I always try to write the text first before I put the bubble around. Remember how I forgot to say that the horse had a neck? If I wanted to put that in here, that the horse had a long neck, and don't worry about colors, guys. I don't care what colors you use. I'm good with, oh, okay, never mind. I do care. Please don't use yellow. Please don't use white. Please don't use gray. I can't see those. And then I think your document is empty and I give you a 0. Use an actual color, and I don't care what colors you use. But if I'm not very good with the circle maker, you don't have to be. Just grab your paintbrush and make a circle with your paintbrush like that. And then connect it to your bubble. See what I just did? So you can make circles with the circle maker, or you can make circles with your paintbrush. But you are just copying all this information, boys and girls. I'm not expecting you to do any of this on your own. Tomorrow? Yeah. Today? No. Today, just copy everything we did. And then when you get to the second page, just copy what we did today. That shows me you're watching the videos, and this is a long one, I know it. But that tells me you're watching the videos. It tells me that you're paying attention and that you're ready for tomorrow's assignment, because tomorrow's assignment, you'll be doing it on your own. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay, so get ready. Make sure you have all of this written. Here's the double bubble. If you need to, pause right now and get all of this written in your spiral notebook. Here is the sentence section. If you need to, pause right now and get all of this written on your spiral notebook. Make sure you have it all. And as soon as you're done, make sure that you click next, because now you're going to have the assignment to do. When you're done with the assignment, don't forget to click Save Submit. Okay? All right, you guys. Good luck on the assignment. Remember, you're just copying me today. So if you've watched this video, you have all the right answers. Give yourself a pat on the back.